Sam Chandler's the CEO of Nitro PDF, and he's one of a group of young Australian entrepreneurs that have enjoyed a fair degree of success in the highly competitive tech industry in the United States. One of the interesting things about the Nitro story is they're going up against one of the more established players in the market in the form of Adobe. Sam was good enough to give us a half an hour of his time and discuss some of the challenges he's faced as a CEO and also some of the success that they're starting to enjoy at Nitro PDF.
Every day is a challenge, and every week and every month and every quarter and every year. And, you know, it always takes longer to build a company than you would ever expect. In fact, I think that's the only reason why you end up doing it. Because if you knew how long it was going to take and how difficult it was going to be at the front end, you'd never have the guts to do it. But you know, there are varying degrees of challenge, you know, day to day and sort of year to year. And we've been through basically everything that you could imagine, whether it's, you know, nearly running out of money, recruiting the wrong people, you know, dealing with messy terminations. You know, we've had to move internationally. We've basically rebuilt the company, after moving it, you know, from Melbourne to San Francisco. You know, that was really a massive change, I think, for the company culturally and, you know, organisationally. We had to adapt very quickly to be able to sort of survive and prosper in the US market. We've dealt with all the usual legal issues, patent issues, the whole box and dice. I'm not sure there are any particular challenges that have been substantially greater than the rest, but in 2007, as an example, we had a product release that went horribly wrong, and essentially we released a product that was much worse than the product that preceded it, and revenue went backwards. Unfortunately, we had just started spending a lot of money because we expected this product release to be a raging success. So we had hired a bunch of people, and you know, we expected that the revenue line would soar, and instead it went backwards. So we actually found ourselves running out of cash, and we came within about 3 months of running out of money in 2007. We actually didn't have the option to go out and raise money. The company was in such dire straits that we would not have been able to achieve a valuation that would support the capital raising without cleaning out, you know, existing shareholders. So what we decided to do was try and, you know, build around it, and, you know, fix the product. We actually didn't cut costs. We embarked upon a new marketing strategy, which is commonly known today as freemium. Back then, didn't really have a name. Today it's called freemium, the concept of giving something away for free and then monetizing a percentage of the user base as paying users or paying customers. We embarked upon that strategy staring sort of down the barrel of a gun, knowing that if it didn't work, we were going to hit the wall. Fortunately, it did work. So we actually didn't have to sack anyone in that period as we were running out of cash rapidly. Fortunately, the board at the time supported my fairly aggressive attitude to the way out strategy, and you know, we turned the company around pretty quickly, and that basically set us off on a period of sort of rocket ship growth. You know, in 2007 we did, from memory, about 1.6 million in revenue, and that jumped up to nearly 4 million in 2008. So it was a really rapid turnaround, and you know, the solution for us was not to cut costs and approach it from, you know, without any disrespect to an accountant's point of view, but to approach it more from a revenue growth point of view. First and foremost is the right leadership. You know, you need the right group of people at the top, and when we talk about leadership at Nitro, we're talking about key individuals throughout the organisation, not just in the really senior group, and certainly not just in the CEO or the founder group. We try and hire the right people. We try and hire generalists. We set really ambitious, audacious goals, and then we give people all the support and the encouragement that they need to go after what they need to deliver to help the organisation achieve those big, ambitious, audacious goals. Culturally, we have a commitment to no bullshit. That's actually one of our values, which is, I guess, best described as, a really direct, frank, transparent approach to everything. We try and drive and encourage common sense throughout the leadership team. We really try and give people the ownership and the authority and the responsibility that enables them to be successful, on their own terms inside the organisation without micromanagement and without sort of management speak and the classic management, bullshit. We hold them accountable, and we expect a lot. I think we're very fair in terms of how we deal with people, but we are extremely demanding. We have a very high bar, and that includes how we hire. Our hiring process is long and very involved. Like, you may have to just get in the door at Nitro, you may have up to 15 or 20 touches, we sort of do peer reviews, we do senior reviews, sort of founder interviews. We do a whole range of things to basically qualify the person is deserving of a role with us. So we try and get the hiring piece right, and then once someone's in here, and if they're the right person and they're given a lot of runway and the right support, they'll, as cliched as it sounds, achieve anything. But the one thing we've learned over the years is that if you're hiring for startups, you want to hire startup people. Big company people rarely work at a senior level in startups. And you want to hire generalists. And generalists with, a lot of common sense are hard to find. And you want to hire people who've got staying power, because, it takes years and years and years and years to become an overnight success. We're sort of finally feeling like we're achieving some measure of success. We did 375,000 in revenue in our first year in 2005, and we'll do about 13 million this year, and virtually without any funding. So, we're pretty proud of what we've achieved, but it's been a long, hard slog. You've got to have a very dedicated, ambitious bunch of people at the core of the business to try and pull it through all the mess that you inevitably will encounter, whether it's financing issues or cash flow issues or product issues, or people issues or legal issues. The stuff that your parents might have warned you about, will happen. All of it. We expect to be significant worldwide in terms of having enabled what we describe as the digital document revolution. We basically started this company 5 or 6 years ago because we believed that the paperless office had never happened. And then, as today, if you look around at the way that organizations and people typically work with documents, it is rife with inefficiency. It's still the case today. People were promising a paperless office and, a digitized, document revolution back in the late 80s and early 90s. And, we're actually consuming more paper today than we were then. People are still creating and sharing documents, often the old-fashioned way. People are still using fax machines, apparently. People are still posting things around. People are still signing documents with pen and paper. These are seriously inefficient ways of creating and exchanging documents in the era that we live in today, when there are better ways. So, in 5 years' time, we want to have contributed really significantly to the way that the world works with digital documents. We want to be on hundreds of millions, if not billions, of devices worldwide. So when we say devices, we mean desktops, laptops, mobile devices, tablets. We want to be a catalyst for driving this digital document revolution forward. And we want to be a billion-dollar business. We want to be a billion-dollar business for the simple reason that very few people have built billion-dollar businesses from scratch. And we want to do it with very little in the way of funding. We're trying to build a highly capital-efficient business. And the management team really, likes the idea that we could do something that very few people have done. And we like the idea of building products that people love. Like, we take an awful lot of pride in what we build. So, creating great software is one thing, driving the digital document revolution is another, and then achieving some sort of economic value that is, really significant but very rare, would be a fantastic outcome. The first one would be to find great co-founders. You need a team of people around you who will keep you sane when things get tough. Building startups is so hard that if you haven't got people to kind of level you out, and kind of keep, supporting you and, I guess, pushing you on, and to talk to about, the myriad of issues that will arise, it'll feel like an impossibility. You need that core group. So the first piece of advice is, unless you genuinely think that you're Superman or Superwoman, get a really good core team around you who, more than anything, you get along with. They don't need to necessarily be the smartest people in the room or the best thing at X or Y. It really helps if they are that, and you sort of do need it, but they've just got to be people who you can envision spending many years of your life with, and 15, 20 hours a day, frequently for years and years and years. You've got to like them, Find a core founding team that you like. That'd be the first piece of advice. The second piece of advice would be to never give up, stick at it. It will take a long time, and then one day you'll wake up and feel like you've actually achieved something. But you'll still realise that you've got a long way to go. It'll take longer, so stick at it. The third piece of advice would be to have fun with it. It's very easy to focus on the outcome. If you talk about building a billion-dollar business, and that's kind of what you measure your success or failure upon, it would be very easy to see all the time between now and then as just a grind. But I think what we've done at Nitro that's unique is we've created a place where people love to come and work. They work with their friends, and I'm a big believer in working with your friends, assuming that they're the right friends to work with, and you'll really enjoy it.